The third season of the Netflix series Outer Banks brings many loose ends to a close, but it also leaves many concerns unanswered about the series' future. Expectations for the third installment of the series were high because viewers knew that it would feature the long-missing Big John Routledge and his son. With the news that Outer Banks Season 3 would also explore the riddle of the lost city of El Dorado and thereby produce an even more intense adventure for the Pogues than anything they had previously encountered, these expectations only increased. A number of series characters are lost before the group receives formal recognition for their adventuring prowess, as they are rewarded for discovering El Dorado in the final episode of the Outer Banks season. These setbacks make viewers wonder what the show's future holds or if, in the instance of Ward's passing in the final Outer Banks Season 3 episode, it is even real. The season raises a number of other issues as well, and much of its plot is left open for possible future investigation. The third season of Outer Banks concludes with a time jump, just as it did at the start, and features the Pogues in an uncommon state of contentment after proving they discovered El Dorado's missing gold. Viewers learn that all of the primary crew have generally good setups and have made some significant changes in the time the camera doesn't show through conversation between John B. and Sarah. Despite this, there are still many unanswered questions for viewers that Season 4 of Outer Banks will likely explore, such as what exactly transpired between Big John's passing and their return. The team destroys the path they took to El Dorado in the Outer Banks Season 3 finale, which raises some potential questions about how they were able to provide others with concrete evidence that they had arrived there, which must have happened, given that the season ends with them receiving praise for their discoveries. As it seems most probable that Outer Banks Pogues were able to direct others to excavate in the correct direction, this question may not be definitively resolved in the show. Season 4 might provide some insight, though, given that persuading an excavation team to take on a project like that isn't precisely simple. The final scene of Outer Banks Season 3, Episode 9, features Topper confronting the Pogues and calling the District Attorney General's office to officially charge John B. for earlier assault. The fact that John B. is not in jail in the time travel finale and that he and Sarah's conversation about where everyone is at only mentions that they own a surf shop suggests that this charge was dropped, as it would be very different if John was either still addressing the charges or had already resolved them. In the closing Outer Banks scenes of Season 3, Topper appears disgruntled to be watching the Pogues receive their award, which might be an indication that his case has been dropped. Indeed, it would make perfect sense if John B.'s new association with such a positive news story resulted in the dismissal of Topper's case. Otherwise, having him arrested might have had a negative impact on the island, and Topper might have been forced to drop the charges to protect his family's reputation. Hopefully Outer Banks Season 4 will clarify precisely what transpired in this situation, particularly as it relates to the crucial conflict between the Cooks and the Pogues. Although Ward Cameron makes a supreme commitment in the Outer Banks Season 3 finale to win his daughter's approval, it's understandable that many viewers might view this death with some skepticism. Every season so far, despite the fact that Ward has appeared to have passed away, it has been disclosed that he is still alive and ready to battle the Pogues in some capacity. This third consecutive fatality naturally raises suspicions as a result. Ward appears to be truly gone this time, though, given the manner in which he died. He doesn't have time to put together a plan like in Season 1, and if it turns out to be a ruse, his emotional sacrifice will have been for nothing. However, given the show's formula, this isn't a given. Given Ward's history of escaping certain death, the emphasis of Outer Banks Season 3, Episode 10 is a distant shot of him after he has died. Rafe begs Sarah to take care of their father and also makes a less formal request to John B. when he sends the wounded Outer Banks villain Ward Cameron off with the Pogues to get his dad to safety. Rafe specifically threatens John, saying, "You do anything to him, anything, I vow to God I'll find you," in an effort to protect Ward. Thus, Ward's passing in the Outer Banks Season 3 finale is likely to enrage his son and turn him once more against his sister and her associates. Although it's unclear how this will play out just yet, Rafe's family storyline is tumultuous enough that it's possible that this will instead result in their reconciliation. After wrapping up their most recent expedition, the Season 3 finale saves its most intriguing and purposeful riddle for the very end. The Pogues' upcoming adventure will involve finding Blackbeard's sunken ship at the request of a prospective customer who hands them a journal in the season's closing scene in the Outer Banks. The squad appears to be charged with finding Blackbeard's lost treasure because the journal dates to 1718, the year of the pirate's demise. Blackbeard's most well-known ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, was not discovered in the real world until more than 200 years after it had first gone missing, and Edward Teach's last ship, the Adventure, ran aground rather than being sunk, all of which add up to a true story that sets up an exhilarating adventure for the Pogues to undertake. While it's safe to say that the story of Blackbeard's sunken ship and treasure will be an even more exciting adventure than even Outer Banks Season 3 and its search for El Dorado, it's less obvious how the show will handle it.